Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A jury's been selected in the trial of William Hain, who is charged with conspiring to kill Savannah Graywind. Hain pleaded guilty earlier this month to kidnapping and providing false information to law enforcement, but says he did not plan the murder.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley was at jury selection today and joins us live to tell us more about what unfolded in the courtroom. Bailey?
Mike, Andrea, it was a long day in the courtroom, starting out with 48 potential jurors, and after 7 hours of questioning, coming up with 12 jurors and 2 alternatives. Defense attorney Daniel Borgen was the first to question the jury pool and ask things like, have you ever been lied to by someone you were in love with? And how many of you have been accused of something by someone that you love? The state later took over, asking the potential jurors questions relating to home births and the necessity of anesthesia when it comes to C-sections. State's attorney Ryan Youngren also asked if it would surprise jurors if police couldn't find blood or DNA at a crime scene. And one question Youngren continually went back to when talking to individual potential jurors was what an agreement looks like to them, specifically a criminal agreement, which relates back to the conspiracy charge that William Hain is being tried on. 8 women and 6 men were selected to serve on the jury for the next 9 days of trial. Mike, Andrea.
All right, thanks, Bailey. Opening arguments are set to start at 9 tomorrow morning, so stick with Valley News Live for more coverage on the trial.
Our weather today has been pretty good. A few clouds, but otherwise plenty of sunshine. Hutch is here to clue you in on tonight's weather planner. Hutch?
Well, as we look out to the west on the sky cam, we see a few clouds, and from time to time you can see rain shafts dangling down from the bottom of them, but they're not all reaching the ground. Radar shows a little more activity in Lakes country. So along Interstate 94 and Highway 10 into Detroit Lakes and Perham, we're seeing a few sprinkles. South central Otter Tail County may actually see some rain hitting the ground where you see those yellows on the radar screen. Temperatures pretty uniform in the 60s. We did reach the upper 60s in Grand Forks and Fargo today, staying in the lower 60s in Baudette and Bemidji. We'll see 50s late this evening with a few clouds, and overnight more clouds and some fog on the way. We'll have a chance for some Wednesday sprinkles of rain, and I'll have details on a very wet Thursday coming up here in a few minutes.
I don't want to have to turn on the furnace.
You shouldn't have to.
Okay, good. Thanks.
3 people were arrested in Moorhead Friday night after police found drugs during a search of a home. 64-year-old Ramiro Longoria, 34-year-old Carrie Longoria, and 33-year-old Joel Lumbreras were all arrested on drug charges at 522 Maple Lane. Police say they found 26 bags of black tar, 19 bags of meth, and a large amount of medication in that bust with a street value of $10,000. Officials say the products in this case have been linked to one overdose in the metro area.
Here's an update to a story we first brought to you here on Valley News Live. The NDSU student who had her car stolen earlier this month now has it back. This vehicle was stolen on the weekend before Labor Day. The student who owned the car also had more than $900 worth of college materials inside. When the car was recovered this past Wednesday, all of her stuff was gone. However, the vehicle was filled with other stolen items. Police found the Ford Fusion abandoned in North Fargo with the trunk open. The suspect in this case is described as a young white man.
A woman accused of driving drunk is behind bars after her car got stuck on railroad tracks in downtown Moorhead. Authorities say 34-year-old Mallory Allen of Moorhead was taken to jail on a DWI charge. An officer on patrol spotted the car hung up on the tracks between Main and Center Avenues near 8th Street around 12:30 Tuesday morning. Authorities say a train had just passed a crossing, and it appears the driver then turned onto the tracks. They used a tow truck to get the vehicle off the tracks.
A Lisbon, North Dakota homeowner has had it. She and her family are in an ongoing dispute with their neighbor. It's about property lines and what she describes as harassment. The Nieves family tells us that they bought their home about 6 years ago and then saw an investment opportunity right across the street from where they live. But little did they know they would have problems with the neighbor.
My husband was in the back side of the house getting rid of shrubs and doing some yard work with my dog. And from nowhere, with a shovel, he started throwing dirt at them, came up and just started throwing dirt, cursing at him. You keep that effing dog away from me. You stay the hell off of my property.
Nieves and her husband decided it would be best to put up a fence, but before they did that, they had their property surveyed. They found that some of his property is on their land, about 6 feet of it. So they got a lawyer, and so did the neighbor. And that's where it sits today. Nieves says that she hasn't heard from her attorney in almost a year. We tried getting in contact with the neighbor, but have yet to hear back.
2 families from Fargo and Dilworth got scammed out of thousands of dollars after they hired the same man who they believed was a fence builder. Now they're warning people to be careful who they hire, especially online. Valley News Team's Maddie Sept talked with the 2 families, and they tell us what went wrong.
A friend of ours noticed on Facebook that he had an ad. We had been pricing fences and thought it was a little bit too expensive, so we decided to price this guy.
Christy Leach thought she was hiring a trustworthy fence builder, Tyler Giles, but it turns out that wasn't the case.
I gave him a check because he said he needed to pay for the materials up front, which I thought sounded a little high for the amount, but you know, what do I know?
Another person in the Fargo area had the same encounter with Giles.
We gave him a down payment, and from that point forward, there was about 13 mutually agreed upon dates that he was going to come out and do work, of which he missed.
Luckily for Geffro, they took Giles to court, and they're still waiting to collect the money he owes them.
These kinds of cases, you know, we're told are sometimes hit or miss whether or not you're actually going to get, paid.
Leach says they plan to take him to court too. Both Geffro and Leach said they learned from their mistakes, and they'll check references next time they find someone online.
I will definitely check and make sure that he is what he says he is, and I don't know, I'm pretty leery about hiring just anybody. I think I'll stick with the big companies that have their established name, even if it costs more.
Reporting in Fargo, Maddie Sept, Valley News Live.
We tried several different ways to reach Giles for a comment, but were not successful. And if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 237-6576 and leave your tip. Our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Minnesota's health department is warning travelers to make sure they're up to date on their vaccinations. This after a 3rd confirmed case of measles in less than 6 weeks. If you've traveled to parts of Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America, you face a higher risk of getting the disease. Last week, the health department confirmed the case of measles in a 2-year-old child who came back from a trip to the Middle East. The child from Ramsey County was likely infectious between September 6th and the 14th. Local public health workers have been notifying people who may have been exposed at specific places there.
A 31-year-old man has pleaded guilty to kidnapping and assaulting an Alexandria, Minnesota teenager. Police say Joshua Holby is one of 3 men involved in the kidnapping of 15-year-old Jasmine Block in August of 2017. Investigators say the 3 men tied up, abused, and tried to kill Block after taking her from her Alexandria home. Holby is expected to serve more than 7 years in prison. One of the co-conspirators, Stephen Powers, is charged with kidnapping, criminal sexual conduct, and false imprisonment.
This is the time of year when Mother Nature really turns up the color. Later on Valley News Live at 6, where you can have fun enjoying the annual Fall Festival. Up next, something new when you can expect to get the text alert from the president.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live. You're watching Valley News Live on KVLY, your hometown NBC station.
We will sell no wine before it's time. It's time. Happy Harry's Bottle Shops, Grand Forks and Fargo.
This September, Corwin Toyota is proud to announce 0% financing for 60 months on new 2018 Toyota RAV4s. That's right. Drive off in a new 2018 Toyota RAV4 with 0% financing for up to 60 months. This September at Corwin Toyota. Corwin Toyota has over 90 RAV4s in stock, but with 0% financing for 60 months, they won't for long. Corwin Toyota. Family driven for over 100 years. Shop online, corwintoyota.com.
I love that Amy Klobuchar isn't afraid to work with Democrats and Republicans.
Amy has done a lot for Minnesota.
Supporting our farmers,
highway repairs all over the state.
Help for law enforcement to fight the opioid epidemic.
Better health care for National Guard and veterans.
And nobody is working harder to lower prescription drug prices.
Amy gets more bills signed into law than just about any other senator.
That's awesome.
I'm Amy Klobuchar. I approve this message.
She is what a senator should be.
My life has completely turned around after visiting the Center for Pain Medicine. I visited other healthcare providers, but wasn't able to get the relief I needed with my migraines in my neck and back from a whiplash injury from a car accident. I was really struggling with severe neck and back pain, and it was making work really difficult and also being a mom difficult. The Center for Pain Medicine made a huge difference. With the treatments I've been receiving, I've been able to manage my pain, get back to work, and be a happy mom and live life.
Don't stay home without us. Happy Harry's Bottle Shops, Grand Forks and Fargo.
Tonight's news, sponsored by Perkins.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency is getting ready to test a presidential alert system to wireless customers.
Don't panic on October 3rd when you suddenly receive a text from the government. The test of the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System was previously scheduled for Thursday, but was delayed due to the impact of Hurricane Florence. At exactly 1:18 p.m. our time on October 3rd, every cell phone with a wireless carrier that participates in the emergency alert program will get the text message. It's the first test to determine the readiness of the president to send alerts in the event of a national emergency. The message will say presidential alert, followed by this is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed.
Exciting news for Prince fans. Warner Brothers has announced the release of new Prince music, a 35-year-old cassette tape which features Prince's new song, Piano and a Microphone, 1983, will be released this Friday. Prince recorded songs of himself playing piano and singing on that cassette while at his home studio in Minnesota. The tape also features other songs like 17 Days and Purple Rain. An album archivist found the tape in Prince's vault. In his words, you can hear Prince strapping the rocket engine on that would propel him to superstardom.
Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, North Carolina needs help in the wake of Florence, which health specialists from North Dakota have been called to action.
Morning temperatures right at freezing in Langdon this morning. This afternoon, most of us saw temperatures rise up into the 60s, a couple of 70s in the Southern Valley. Colors are changing in Lakes Country. Here is the latest map showing that we have near pink leaf colors in northwest Minnesota. Your forecast is next.